Hey guys, it's Jen. I wanted to do a video today to tell you what we are doing for homeschool this year and kind of show you our new homeschooling space. This cubby system, it just holds our extras. These are unused like notebooks and memo books and notepads, loose leaf paper, page protectors. These are clipboards and some of their little empty folders. These are clipboards, but I can put stuff in them for if we go on a trip. This is just our extra supplies, pencils, calculators, art stuff. Don't mind our new kitty. I'm sure she'll make lots of noise. This is only her second day here, and she's kind of figuring everything out and a little bit lonely. Hey, don't do it. Don't do it. Thank you. This is kind of just a catch-all. It's technically mine, but really, like, it has a light fixture in it in a bag, and it's just a catch-all. Paper, more paper, some coloring books we photocopy to use, but really the kids don't like coloring pages. They really prefer just to draw on paper. Wipes, because wipes are important. Some travel games. Hey, Missy. Over here we have some plexiglass boards for the kids to be able to set down to have a flat surface to draw on because the subfloor is not totally flat. We have this big dry erase board because I want the kids to be able to come up and have another way to do their math problems or write or just draw. Just another way for them to have an outlet. These are their work binders from last year that I keep, or I kept their completed work in. These are their crayons and pencil crayons and all those things to color and draw. Dry erase markers are a few wet erase in there too. Pencil sharpener. Their pencils. We really like the Ticonderoga. They're our very, very favorite. We do have a few others in there, but sorry, she's being very distracting. We have a fair amount of books, not as many as I would like, but we're working on that. Down here is another shelf of the kids' books. I actually emptied the shelf from other stuff so that I could have another shelf for them. I like to keep lots of books available on a lot of different topics so that the kids, whenever they have an interest in something or a question, they do ask me, but quite often, especially Ruben, since he's reading quite well, can come up and just learn for himself a little bit. We have books on weather, animals, different types of nature, mountains. We live in the mountains, so that was something I wanted for them. Some of them are animal specific, like turtles. We have one of these, which is really cute. The kids actually enjoy this. Want to get him a few more, just ways for them to come and find answers to some of their questions about things. And if they're interested in something specific, then I will go and try to see if we have a book that's just on that or has that in part of it. We have, our local library has a little separate, what's it called? Just like a little building that they keep. Sorry guys, the kitties are getting to know each other. Day one, they'll be okay. But so this, I'm sure over the course of the school year, this school year will get filled just as they kind of have new interests. Over here just are kind of our kids, like storybooks and things like that. And then here's kind of more of our early readers, like our Magic Tree House, Magic School Bus, some of the Boxcar Kid books, some of the American Girl books, some of the classics, just that kind of thing. And then it gets a little bit older up here. We have like Oliver Twist, Ivanhoe, The Little Minister, really, really cute book. It's by James M. Barrie, who also wrote Alice in Wonderland, or Alice Through the Looking Glass, actually. And then some more old books. And then over here is where we technically keep all of our homeschool books, curricula, workbooks, that type of thing. This is a little bit more of an activity basket. It's a little coal kit, charcoals to draw with, magnifying glass, pH strips, chalk, little rocket kit, a placemat in case you're doing anything messy, little dry erase boards. This is a little magnetic whiteboard with little magnets down here that my toddler can come and put them on. There's like he can make little faces and things. Some magazines for the kids. And then this is it. This is the hub, basically. We were doing last year and the past few years, like most homeschoolers do, we had a curricula. They had their work pages they had to do. They had lessons. They each had one of these magazine holders, and in them, they would have their specific workbooks, and if they had any work pages to do from a bigger book like that we were all doing that wasn't specifically just their book, I would take them and put them in there too. And I actually had them lettered, like, okay, we're doing this one on Monday, this one on Tuesday, this one on Thursday, and so on. And we did school Monday through Thursday, and it worked okay. It wasn't horrible. My daughter loved it. She's very workbook oriented. She will finish an entire workbook just for fun. My boys are not like that. They don't like doing that. It was a really big struggle to get them to do those things, and so I really wanted to be able to reach them somehow a little bit better. And I've had thoughts and feelings about how I could best teach them and how I thought they would learn the best, how kids in general I think learn the best, because they are all different. And most school systems are not set up for kids to really genuinely go on their own pace. There's standardized testing, and, they need to be able to do this by this age and this by this age, and they have to be well-rounded, and they have to get some of everything. So they have to go do a dedicated math class and a dedicated English class and a dedicated this and that. And that has always sat horribly wrong with me. And the testing really has always bothered me because I would do just fine on my homework, on my schoolwork. I've done homeschooling, unschooling, public school, private Christian school. I've done online schooling, and I quit doing all of it at 15 and just worked in my parents' businesses. And then I took my GED at 18 because I was going to move out, and they really wanted me to take it. So I took it and passed it. So I do have my GED. But I was horrible with tests. Like, my mind went blank. It was awful. It was a miracle I got through my GED because I blank out at tests. And I feel like a lot of people are not great test takers for various reasons. They might be really, really bright and know the info and just do horrible on a test. And so I feel like tests are not a good gauge. They work for some people and not for everyone. And I feel like the stress on children to perform well on tests is ridiculous and unnecessary. And I feel like it really hampers the whole learning process. I don't feel like it's conducive to learning. So those were my thoughts on it. But I was struggling to find anything that fit that. I didn't really 100% agree with unschooling. And I know that unschooling has a huge range of how people do it and how it works for people. That's the one thing with homeschooling, saying, I do this method or I do that method. It might be totally different from someone else who says they do the exact same method. Because people definitely adjust it to try to make it work for them, which is what we do. And so we are doing interest-based this year, is what I'm calling it. Is interest-based. I am not going to stress out about if they're doing their English pages every school day. I'm not going to stress out about if we've sat down and done a dedicated math class that week. My boys especially learn really beautifully if they're interested in something. We just kind of go with it. So I do have workbooks up here, lots of them. I'm betting my daughter will take advantage of these. She'll come up and do lots of them. They each have their own little space where if they had a workbook that they hadn't finished yet over the summer, they do get to keep it to do when they feel like doing a work page. My son, Thatcher, he is 5 years old, and he got through his pre-K Star Wars workbooks. He got through all of them, and then he's almost completely through all of the kindergarten ones, and he's working in the first grade ones. But he'll do those because he loves Star Wars, so he finds that interesting. If I give him a different workbook, but it's the same information, I have a fight, and he's not interested. And watching his frustration when he's not engaged in learning is really sad, and I hated browbeating him over it. I hate browbeating all of them over it if they're not interested in it. They don't retain it, and it's just a fight. So there are workbooks available if they want to do workbooks, or if we feel we should. I do have these books set aside that I do want to actually do lessons out of. We want to try Life of Fred and see how it goes. Ruben is actually very mathematically minded, and he's good with math. We just have been struggling to find a curriculum that he engages with and really enjoys, and I want him to enjoy it. That's the point of learning. I want them to love it. The thought process that you go to school and then you get through college and then you work the rest of your life is bunk. It's total bunk. You learn your entire life. You learn things your whole life. And so my goal here is so that they can learn as much as possible that they're interested in. And then as they get a little bit older, just depending on how long it takes them to kind of find an area that they want to focus on more so, then we will focus on that area. And if it's something that involves complex mathematics and more advanced classes like robotics or something, then we will focus on that. And I feel like when we get to that point, they're going to be more interested in it. They're going to focus in it because they've been able to become interested in it before I try to shove it down their throat, basically. So we do have these that I will go through with them. They love Story of the World. We don't always do the activity pages, but just me sitting and reading, they love it. We read, and then we have a discussion about it, and they totally, totally love it. Botany, all of them are quite interested in plants, the boys especially. They can name more of the plants in our yard than I can, and we talk about their uses and how plants work and how they absorb water and all these things, and we do it just sitting outside in the grass, just talking, and they love it. They are interested in it, and they retain it, they remember it, they can tell other people about it, and they do. My children have discussions with other people all the time. This whole they have to go to public school to be socialized is hilarious to me, because I have seen public school children that cannot carry a conversation with anyone. They struggle to even talk to their peers, and I've seen this a lot. My kids, holy cadina, they'll talk to anybody. From like a toddler on up through a grandparent. They will sit and have an in-depth discussion, and they can keep up with you as an adult. They know. And they, I mean, you'll, oh, hey, what's that herb? And they're like, oh, it's this and this, and it does this and this and this. Or Ruben will have an entire discussion with someone about sorry, the cat knocked something over, about math or about something that happened in history. And it's all things that he's been interested about. And he has approached me and told me that he wants to learn about it. And so we do. I supply him with the materials. I answer questions he has. We use Google. We use YouTube. We use books, all kinds of things. And he has all that information to share with other people. And people are always impressed. And they always tell me how bright my kids are. And I don't think that my children are specifically brighter than other children. I think all children, mass majority, are inherently little geniuses. But I feel like they aren't allowed to hone in on their genius. I feel like they're shoved in a setting where they're forced to learn certain things before they're ready or that are uninteresting. And it's not that people don't ever have to do things that aren't interesting. That's part of life. That's going to happen. I have to do it all the time. But when they're children and they're learning so quickly and they're growing so quickly, the point of doing it interest-based is because they're going to get more out of it. They're going to retain that information. They're going to have a love for learning that is going to carry through their whole lives. And I read a book recently that actually really backed up my whole thought process on this. I believe it's called The Call to Brilliance. I will link a link to it below on Amazon. In the description box. I just loaned it to a friend. I just finished it, and she basically this whole process of teaching your kids the way that they learn and the way that they're interested. And her children all did really, really well. Entered college early, did advanced classes, were teaching other people, doing tutoring and things like that before they were even technically college age. It was amazing, and I that just really solidified for me that this was the way to go. And my kids are already really interested. We had a discussion about what they wanted to learn. The boys are both really interested in like robotics and mechanics, among other things. So we're getting some of these little kits. This one, just so that they kind of figure out how things work, how wires work, how to hook things up, stuff like that. There's a couple more kits my husband has looked at that he is planning to get for them. Just a minute, baby girl. And my daughter, she's gotten really interested in cooking, which is awesome because, you do all kinds of life application things while you're cooking, like math and ingredients, how things go together, consistencies, processes of things. It's really cool. But she told me she wants to learn how to sew, and she wants to learn how to knit. I knit. I do sew a little bit, but I mostly knit. So we might be learning to sew together. And so, yeah, that's what we're doing. This is getting really long and rambly, and most people might find this boring. If you're a homeschooler, you might have found it a little more interesting. If you made it this far, well, you're just so cool. I will answer any questions you have to the best of my ability. Just post them below, or you can message me if you don't want to post a comment for any reason. I'm really excited about this year. Actually, I've been excited about every year, but a little bit more, I don't know, worried about it, I guess. And I think it'll go really well. If you have done this type of schooling with your children, please let me know how it went for you, and what you thought helped them the most. This is kind of uncharted territory a little bit for us, and we're really hoping to just kind of catch their interest and give them a real joy and love for learning. Because I feel like that's really important for their whole life. I think more than even the information that they will retain. If I can encourage them and teach them to just love learning and expanding their knowledge base, then that's perfect. That's exactly what I want to do this year. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. This is really long. I do apologize. But, yeah. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.